From the City of Angels, you're listening to the James Salazar Media Podcast. It is number 50, everyone. So let me strike the music, and I'll meet you on the other side.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Say hello to my little friend.
I am the Father.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Engage.
What's up, savages? Number 50, bitches. And welcome to the James Salazar Media Podcast. I am your host, James Salazar, a.k.a. The Media. Coming to you in number 50. And what have I learned in 50 podcasts? Not a goddamn thing, I tell you. Compañones, damas y caballeros. Whatever. Friday night. I hope you are about to pull the trigger on your weekend. Get her done. Do something, man. Don't sit on your ass. Be something. Do something. Hear something. Watch something. Be something. Get her done. Get her done now. One time on this rock. I'm telling you, one time on this rock. You got to make the most of it. You see, I don't care if you fail. I don't care if you fail. I care if you don't even try. Don't be a coward. Just try. Just go for it. Just do it. Let me tell you something. I'll give you a secret in life that I don't even have to know. I know many people who already know this truth, that if you go to your deathbed with a host of things that you didn't bother to try, you're going to kick yourself in the ass, I'm telling you. All right, I've got enough on this idea. I'm done. Let's see here. In the news, Trump blocks federal funding for clinics providing abortions or abortion clinics. Well, he's throwing the gauntlet down. Every woman that is for aborting human babies are up in arms because they don't want to be told what to do with their body, even though they not only want to do what they want with their body, they want to do what they want with the baby's body. I think that's the disconnect. But any Americans who don't believe in abortions shouldn't have to pay their tax money to pay for that. Now, there's an argument, I granted, for the left who say, well, I don't want my taxes to go to any federal funding of the military. And it's almost sort of because the American military does kill people. But we aim to kill bad people and for the betterment of our society and to protect our interests, where abortion just kills babies, majority of the babies, because of inconvenience. So almost the same, but not quite. You get the goose egg. Fact of the matter is, since time immemorial, up until abortion, there was to society, there was a aspect of moral responsibility to the life that was in them. Now we have said, no, you have no moral responsibility to the life with you. And millions and millions of babies, and millions, don't get it twisted, millions and millions of babies have been aborted. Perpetrated in America first, and by statistics, upon black Americans, because white people thought, why are you going to bring up a black person? Why are you going to let them, it'll be better because you can financially support them the way we support our white children. So you should have the right to kill your baby, not to be grown up in this world. But I'm keeping my white baby. So that's the history of abortion in America. In a nutshell, look, let me just tell you how I see it. As I sit in my backyard with the wind blowing and the sun shining in sunny Southern California. my personal opinion about abortion, as soon as the baby can feel pain, we shouldn't kill it. Okay? That's it. I don't know if we can determine that now. I don't know if we have the technology to determine that. We do see in abortions through, I don't know, not ultrasound, maybe ultrasound and some other imaging technologies, that we can see the baby recoil in pain after the second and third trimester. When it's getting his legs pulled off and his arms pulled off and his head pulled off, we see it struggle with this happening. And most people who see this become immediately pro-life. But you're not going to see this on TV. But I digress. But in our society, I think the Pandora's box is already out. I think the first trimester, I don't think that will, in our society, ever be illegal again. But I think third trimesters, I think that can be illegal. I think that's way more easier to obtain. And you're pretty much a moral idiot if you think a third trimester baby should be able to be terminated. A fully grown baby in the stomach waiting to go with arms, legs, eyes, reacting to the mother's mood and moving around. If you think that thing should be eliminated, that baby, like I said, you're a moral idiot, and there's something wrong with you. I think the battleground will be in the second trimester. My personal opinion. Second trimester, whether we should kill a baby. I think we should not have second trimester baby abortions. I think it's terrible because, and let me tell you why I don't see any distinction. Because for me to see a distinction is to say the smaller the fetus, the less valuable it is. The more easier it is to kill, the less reaction out of it makes it less valuable, less of a life. And I don't think that's true. Just because it's really small doesn't mean it has no value. And the idea that value of life is dependent upon size and location. And what do I mean by location? In the stomach, it has no value. Half our country believes it has no value. But once it's outside the stomach, it has all value. And we're seeing in New York, we're saying if the baby is outside the mother's womb and the baby needs help to survive, the mother has the choice whether to resuscitate it or not. Well, no, there is an American, that baby is now an American, and he has all rights and duty as an American and privileges once he's out of the mother's womb. So the idea that because the first trimester, because it is smaller and easier to kill, makes it less valuable because by location, are all moronic ideas. But like I said, Pandora's box, and I think first trimesters is not going to be a battle that conservatives and libertarians or whoever who wants to save babies' lives in the stomach fight will be. Okay, enough of this. So R. Kelly's in the news. He has all kinds of charges against him for sexual assault, 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse. We know this guy likes the girls young, between 13 and 16. They range. I think we're trying to fix our mistakes that we did with Michael Jackson. Great performer, great talent. But we know after the fact, with all the stuff that's come out, and now all the kids, pretty much the majority of the kids that he was housed with, who spent the night at his house, all say he touched them. So he was a pedophile, and our society doesn't care as much because his music was such a culture shock and a culture change back in the 80s that it's hard to look at him in that light. Just like, what's his name? The comedian, darn it, like 90 counts of of rape, you know, Mr. Huxtable, forget his name, whatever, shit, you know what I'm talking about. And R. Kelly, you know, this has been like this has been talked about and had jokes about. Shut up, dog. And I was wondering why no one's brought any charges. So I guess they've been trying to get his charges over I don't know how many years. I mean, I think we knew this about like 7 years ago when he peed on some young girl in a film. So that's happening. Those crazy parents that tortured their children for all these years, for 25 years, on the for 14 charges of torture. They got 25 years, and rightfully so. Crazy bastards. And hold on. How an extinct tortoise was discovered after a century. Oh yes, I have no doubt. Science makes a lot of assumptions that, you know, may not be true until it's proven not to be true. But I don't mind that they make predictions, and I want them to make predictions, and I want them to make theories, and I want them to make theorems, and I'm all good with that. But until you can prove it, I have no obligation to believe it. I mean, I'm supposed to believe, no. This is 100% right until it's 100% wrong. Oh, sorry, it's wrong now, so change your mind and believe it lock, stock, and barrel. No, I mean, it doesn't work that way. You can have all the theories you want, and I want to hear all the theories you want, and I want to be excited about all the theories you have, but I'm just not going to have any obligation to believe in it. Just not until you can prove it. Smollett? You see Smollett case? I understand that this guy lied, and yeah, but I don't know why it was a big deal. People need to understand that there is social credit. There is social cred in being considered a victim. This proves it. Here's a guy who was making $60,000 an episode. One of the stars, one of the biggest hip-hop TV shows, dramas. But he still felt the need to see himself as a victim so much that he pretended. And let me tell you something. The idea that people wouldn't lie, I'm telling you, this doesn't surprise me at all. At all. It doesn't surprise me at all that they would find virtue in being a victim. People are shocked. And this is why his own community are coming down on him hard, are ready to sacrifice him. Not because he did it, because he got caught. That's what I think. So they're all, we got to separate this guy because they're gonna be onto us. And you're right. For true victims, it's not fair. We got a problem with people who are truly victimized being discredited by people who pretend to be. But there's people who pretend to be. That's a fact. And they're making such a big story. I mean, go on it. I mean, now everybody wants to crucify this person. He made a big mistake. He's probably going to do time. He's probably going to get fired. Okay, whatever. Go on. People make mistakes. Because, you know, conservatives believe in second chances. I mean, we'll hit you over the head for doing it wrong. The only difference, conservatives will judge you just as much as a liberal will judge you, but then we'll forgive you. Liberals will never forgive you. They will destroy you. Especially if you don't believe what they believe. You see, with conservatives,
though we may have longer jail times, when you're square with the house, you're square with the house. We may not trust you, but once you've done your time, you've done your time. Liberals, they'll make sure that shit follows you through the end of time if they don't believe as you believe.
There is truth in what I'm saying. There's people who find virtue in being a victim, and that they get more social cred if people feel that they've been discriminated against. That's the first thing people tell you when you say, well, I don't think it's as bad as you say it is. I think a lot of people need to act better and not put themselves in positions where they have to meet cops. And they will say, well, have you ever been? They will say to you, to marginalize what you're saying, you haven't experienced what I experienced. It is what it is. But personally, I think we should give this guy a second chance. We should lay off him, talk about more important things. I'm not surprised that he did that, and I'm not surprised more people are not caught. But the good thing about this is not that he's getting busted. I don't want to see anybody go down for making a mistake that, overall nobody got hurt other than him. This is the big thing about that Kavanaugh. Like, why would a woman lie about that? But why would a man lie about this? People lie. People lie. This is why we have laws and punishments, because people do lie. And until then, we need to have proof and corroborating evidence and witnesses. We can't just throw the book at some people based on what somebody says, even though it did happen. That's not how our system works. This is due process. Due process. I'll say it again, and it's on one of my t-shirts, which my t-shirt company is right down because I'm revamping it. Any ideology, religion, or political system that does not practice due process is fascist. So in other news, let's just get there real quick. NASA space shuttle rises from the dead to power new vehicles. What? 3 spacecraft survived retirement as specimens in museums around the country, but the program isn't dead yet. Many of the parts are popping up on zombie components in spacecraft now in development. So, I guess some of the stuff is still good enough to be put on other ships. That's good. I doubt it. I thought they were going to say that they're going to start shipping, blowing up, putting it on the launch pad and sending it to space again. Alien temple spotted on Mars in NASA's image, conspiracy theorists claim. It's fucking silly people. They always thought that face was on Mars, but they're wrong. Temple, come on. It don't look like a temple. It looks like a strange rock formation. Or it could be the forerunners of our galaxy. Whatever, I digress. And let me see, what else we have here? This fast food drive-thru is now using AI to take your order. I guess, if they can get it right. Make sure they don't leave out the freaking sauce on the chicken nuggets. Because I don't know how many times they forget the sauce. The dipping sauce for chicken nuggets at McDonald's. I tell you. Enough to drive me bat shit crazy, I tell you. I digress. Virgin Galactic space plans soar to new heights. Virgin Galactic supersonic space plane, the VSS Unity, took off on its 5th test flight today. Mothership White Knight 2 released the suborbital space plant at around 44,000 feet, and VSS Unity reached its new maximum altitude of 55 miles. Well, good for them. They're getting higher and higher. I wonder if the people are paying for that. Oh my God, this is not true. Stop the horses. Zombie deer disease could spread to human Expert warns. Oh my goodness. True zombieism? Let's see. Zombie deer disease is spread across the globe. Known more formally as chronic wasting disease, CWD. The infection eats away at the brain of the deer, moose. It causes an animal to show signs of dementia, manifesting as difficulty walking and eating before they ultimately die. Experts are now warning us that the disease could make a jump from animals to humans. Well, that sucks. At least they have a problem eating, because if they forget who they are and they walk slow, and but they know how to bite, that's scary shit. That's the zombie movie making in real life, but looks like they just forget, which is it's almost close to severe cases of dementia and Alzheimer's that sometime at the very late stages of Alzheimer's and dementia that people forget to eat. So I guess it would be at a rapid pace. So that's scary. Zombie deer diseases. So my friends, I'll leave you with that this weekend. How about that? Let's leave you with contemplating and thinking about the zombie deer disease. Bring it up while you're with your friends, while toasting a glass of Guinness. If you have a connoisseur taste of beer. Whatever. I digress. Hey, you can follow me on all social media platforms. Just type in on James Salazar Media, and I should come up. If you have any questions or any comments about anything I said in the podcast, go to jamessalazarmedia@gmail.com. If you want to check out my services and life coaching and see what I'm doing with my music, go to jamessalazarmedia.com. So there it is, my folks. My folks. Savages. Enjoy your weekend. And like my sensei Jack Burton always says, when the storms of life come against you and you find yourself on your knees, stand tall, raise your head up high, and take a look at that storm and say, give me your best shot. Strike the music.